Hi guys, welcome to another episode from New Zealand's biggest gap year, where a few years ago Robin and I did 365 activities in 365 days, and today's activity is doing the famous Milford Sound cruise. But at the end of the video we're going to be going through some of the comments and questions you guys had the first time around when we published this video, just so we can give you some more travel tips about doing the Milford Sound cruise. So stick around till the end. Today we are waking up in the beautiful Milford Sound Lodge, which is not only a holiday park, it's also a luxury lodge as well as having some backpacker dorms, and it's actually one of the only accommodations here in Milford Sound. As you can see, it is pouring down with rain. In fact, it is raining so much that even the Milford Sound Road is closed. So we decide to wait out the weather by stuffing our faces inside the Milford Sound Lodge. The great thing though about Real Journeys is that despite the weather and the rain and the gusting gales out there today, they are still putting on their Milford Sound nature cruise. So we are so stoked to be jumping on that today.
So Laura and I are jumping onto the free shuttle and heading toward the Milford Wharf. There we're going to be boarding the Milford Marina, which is the Real Journey boat that's going to take us around the sound today. It's incredible that they are actually keep running the tours by that crazy weather.
Might be a bit of breeze out here, so be aware of that. Make sure you hang on to anything that might blow away, like loose hats, toupees, small children, husbands' wallets, those sorts of things.
As the boat is heading out of the marina and toward the sound, it looks like Laura and I are the only one brave enough to head toward the front deck. But the nature guide is already there giving us commentary, so if he's here doing his job, we'll be here listening to him. The sound is roaring like never before. There is huge amount of waves, the wind is slashing our faces, but it makes the whole place look so much better. There are thousands of waterfalls surrounding us, and those waterfalls are not here on a sunny day. So we are feeling so happy to have made it to Milford Sound in such a crappy weather.
It is absolutely blowing a gale out here. The wind is so strong, the rain is absolutely pounding us in the face, but it is really so much fun. All these temporary waterfalls are making their way from the tops of the mountains. It looks absolutely stunning around here.
And we are about to get an even closer look to one of those waterfalls. It seems to be a real journey thing to actually get super close and intimate with waterfalls, so the captain is maneuvering his boat right underneath it.
So it's Laura's fourth time here, it's my fifth time here, and I don't think we've ever seen those waterfalls as big and gushing. So that's definitely a treat.
This nature cruise is usually about 2 hours long, taking us all the way to the very end of Milford Sound. But because the swell is so rough today, the boat can only really make it to the end of where the sheltered waters are. But that's all good because we get more time to explore the best of what Milford Sound has to offer.
Alright, so now we're looking for some seals. We know we're going to find some because there's never a cruise in Milford Sound without any seals. It's just a matter of where.
I think I know where.
Where?
Seal Rock.
What?
They do not move.
There's heaps of wildlife to be found in Milford Sound. There is the fjord-crested penguins, there are bottlenose dolphins, there are crazy tourists staring at my camera, and there is also the New Zealand fur seal, and that's exactly what we're going to be looking for today. And we end up finding them lazing on a rock. Because New Zealand fur seal lazing on a rock are actually quite hard to spot, our nature guide is actually pointing them out for us. There are little dots in the middle of the waves and the rocks and the vegetation. It's super hard to see them, but with their help we get some really awesome pictures of the massive seal colony right here in Milford Sound.
As soon as we leave the seals, my attention is straight back on the amazing scenery around us. All these towering mountains have been carved by glaciers.
This is amazing.
As we are approaching Stirling Falls, the captain is calling out for everybody to head toward the front deck for an experience not to be forgotten. But once more, Laura and I are the only one to answer the call. turns out that the real Journey crew are as crazy as we are, and they do love their rain.
I love my job! Woo! This is what we do every day!
I really thought I couldn't get any more wet, but turned out I can.
We can't hide it, Milford Sound is one hell of a rainy place. You usually get about a 50-50 chance of whether you're going to be in the rain or on a sunny day in Milford Sound. But if you want to check out what being in the Sounds is like on a sunny day, head on over to our Doubtful Sound video.
We are leaving the boat super wet but super happy. We had a blast on the cruise, and the weather only made it better because that's such a different cruise than we'd ever done in New Zealand.
We had a blast at the Milford Marina. That wasn't the best weather, but that was the best time. Honestly, we've never seen Milford Sound like this, and I think we'll never see Milford Sound like this again. So I consider myself sweet.
We go back to the Milford Sound Lodge feeling like we're never going to be dry again. And now we have the massive challenge of trying to dry our clothes in our camper van. But we have loads more to show you on Milford Sound with kayaking in Milford Sound tomorrow. So join us then. We are getting on a boat which is a bit old school today. It's got a bit of history by the looks of things. It's got all these sailing poles up and a pretty old school looking like eating area.
Not a pole, it's a mast. But safe.
I'm getting some information from the studio saying that they are actually called masts, not sailing poles. So this boat is covered in sailing sticks and I don't care what they're called. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that video and watching us getting absolutely soaked. Interestingly, people in the comments are also saying that they basically, the ones that have done it in the rain have also said that they found it really epic. We have Why in the World saying, was only sunny when I went, I'm kinda jealous, the rain would have made it better. Yeah, I guess it kinda would if you don't mind getting a little bit soaked. We have Chasing Adeline saying, yes, we had a lot of rain. And we have Ian saying, are you guys on their smallest vessels? As I noted that Real Journeys operate with smaller vessels at 11 a.m. and 4:15 p.m. between November and March. Any advice to choose on the vessels for nature cruises? I don't know if we were really on one of their smaller vessels. I know that Real Journeys do actually have up to 15 vessels in Milford Sound, so they really do have a lot of ships there and stuff. But yeah, we can't really give you more sort of advice on what are the best vessels to go on or anything because we haven't been on them all. But if you do go on to nzpocketguide.com, we have a full article comparing every single cruise company in Milford Sound. So you could go on there and compare which cruises are more catered to smaller groups, which ones have the larger groups, that sort of thing. So maybe that would be a better sort of way to approach going on maybe a smaller vessel in Milford Sound. And just another question we have from Robert saying, hi guys. In planning our trip, we really wanted to see Milford Sound, watched your videos day 146 to 150. From what I researched, there is only one place to stay, Milford Sound Lodge. Unlike you, we won't be renting a camper van. Smart move on your part. The cheapest room at the lodge was $615 per night. That's crazy. I'm watching the videos and I'm left feeling that a visit to Milford Sound is a roll of the dice climate-wise. Is it possible to tell people that you've seen New Zealand without ever seeing Milford Sound? Of course, you don't have to go to Milford Sound. If you'd seen from other videos and things, even yesterday's video in this series, we talked about Milford Sound compared to Doubtful Sound. You might want to check out Doubtful Sound if you just want to do a day trip from Te Anau. So you don't have to stay in Milford Sound, but you can stay in Te Anau where the prices of accommodation are much more affordable, and then go and do a Doubtful Sound cruise. That's one option. But otherwise, just sort of doing some of the hiking trails around Tianau, which take you into the Fiordland National Park, which is basically where a lot of the sort of glacier-carved scenery like Milford Sound is, then you could just go do some hikes and you will get to see some really amazing scenery. Just Milford Sound's one of those really, you know, highly advertised places in New Zealand. So by all means, if it's not working into your itinerary, there's definitely no reason to sort of all rush to Milford Sound and go and do that. You can definitely a good way to approach is to just stick to what you can fit into your itinerary, and you'll probably have a better time than rushing around New Zealand trying to fit everything in. Alright guys, I hope that video helped you sort of plan your own trips a little bit better going to Milford Sound, and if you do want more advice on travelling to Milford Sound, we have heaps more articles on nzpocketguide.com, so make sure to go check that out, and otherwise we will see you in the next video.